Similarly, the one more process will come, that is dry process. The main difference between this wet process and dry process is the addition of water in the wet process, and then here in the dry process, without adding any water, we are going to blend the raw materials so that it should give the maximum strength and binding property within its structures. We'll study now how we are going to give that to the in the manufacturing process. Okay, so in the dry and semi-dry process, the raw materials are crushed, dry, and fed in correct proportions into a grinding mill where they are dried and reduced to a very fine powder. So here also they are going to use the same raw materials such as calcareous materials like limestone and then clay, and then they are going to fed in correct proportions, means depends upon the quality of the chemical compositions and depends upon the purity of those raw materials. They are going to fix the proportions of those raw materials, and then they are going to send that one to the grinding mill, and where they are going to dry and reduce to a very fine powder. Okay, and here the dry powder called the raw meal, which is then further blended and corrected for its right composition. The main part of this dry process is the dry powder called the raw meal. So here raw meal is nothing but where we have added the storage basin. So in the wet process, what we have done, we have washed and we have stored clay in a storage basin. And in limestone, we have crushed that and stored in a storage basin. So here, togetherly, we have placed raw material like limestone and clay in one chamber, and then we are going to mix that one and crush that one thoroughly, and then we'll mix that one uniformly so that all the particles should mixed together. Okay, so and the mixing of this process we can done by providing compressed air. So compressed air in the sense within a particular chamber, if we have provided the compressed air, so that that air which is stored only in that particular chamber, so because of that compressed air, all the particles will start moving with their own axis, and then they are going to mix thoroughly at that particular chamber. So now the aerated powder tends to behave almost like liquid, and in about 1 hour the aeration is uniform, mixture is obtained. So after 1 hour of in compressed air, the dry powder called the raw meal, which is going to mix thoroughly with a uniform mixture. Okay, and then the third part, the blended meal is further sieved and fed into a rotating disc called granulator. So now you can see the blended meal in the sense that is raw meal, whatever it is mixed with raw materials, so that powder which is going to stored in rotating disc, that disc name is called granulator. So here quantity of water about 12% by weight is added to make the blended meal into pellets. So here basically this process, whatever they have given a quantity of water about 12%, so this is comes under in semi dry process, whereas in dry process you can see there is no water particles have been present here, and this particular part which is optionally they have given with semi dry process, and this is done to permit airflow for exchange of heat for further chemical reactions and conversion of the same into a clinker for further in the rotary kiln. So here also they are going to provide these granulator materials in rotary kiln. So whatever the materials which is stored in this granulator, that is fed to the rotary kiln. Okay, and then here the equipments used in the dry process kiln is comparatively smaller, because here you can see there is no water paste, I mean whatever the paste which is formed as you have seen in the wet process, here we can't see that. So here the chamber which is very small, because already which is dry, oh, I mean that powder form which is already dried, so that no need of extra energy we require to make that one to the powder form which is in dry state. Okay, so here the process is quite economical because whatever the major application of rotary kiln which is totally nil in this, I mean, not totally nil, so the up to a certain percentage of this working principle will be less as compared to the wet process. So here the total consumption of coal in this method is only about 100 kg when compared to the requirement of 350 kg for producing a ton of cement in the wet process. So you can think in a simple way, we can consider wet process and dry process here just to explain this particular point. Okay, so here we are going to check the total consumption of coal in wet process and dry process. Suppose think that we are going to manufacture around 1 ton of cement. Okay, so to manufacture 1 ton of cement in wet process we require 350 kg, but if we have used in dry process we require only 100 kg. So think that we are going to save around 250 kg of consumption of coal, so that leads in the manufacturing cost of the cement will be in a lesser state. Clear? Excuse, wait for a while. Excuse. Okay, so the next processes are same as in wet process of manufacturing. So here also in rotary kiln, they are going to store the raw materials. I mean that whatever the raw meals they have given, so that raw meals they have stored in rotary kiln. So there they are going to blend thoroughly with certain amount of heat, so that in dry process the working application of this rotary kiln is very less compared to the wet process. And here the cooled clinker is then ground in a ball mill with the addition of 3 to 5% of gypsum. Again, the procedure will get repeat same as in wet process. Okay, so in order to prevent flash setting of the cement. Okay, so here which is going to provide some binding agent and which is going to provide certain setting time. So setting time in the sense, once you added water to the cement, it get hardened. Okay, so however the time which is going to increase, by that time it started hardening. Okay, so to avoid that, we are going to add certain amount of additives like gypsum, about 3 to 5%, in order to prevent the flash setting of cement. Okay, so after adding gypsum to the clinkers, that is cooled clinker, they are going to fill that one in ball mill, and then they are going to mix with cooled clinker as well as this gypsum, and then this ball will consisting of several compartments which are starred with progressively smaller hardened steel balls. So by using that steel balls, once we add both gypsum as well as the clinker, so by using that steel balls which is going to hit with each other particles and then which is going to mix thoroughly within that ball mill sections. Okay, so here the particles are crushed to the required fineness and which are separated by currents of air and taken to a storage silos from where the cement is bagged or filled into a barrels for bulk supply to the dams or other large work sites. Basically 50 kg of cement bags which is packed, but when you require in a large quantity, like while constructing of dams and all, I mean with the higher concrete sectional structures, there directly you can send a particular silos to that required location instead of packing that one into the required bags. Okay, so this is up to dry bags, I mean dry process. So here you can see the things how exactly they have given. So here also they have considered the calcareous materials like limestone and then argillaceous material like clay. Okay, so this is same as in wet process. There, this limestone which is crushed and here also which is washed and crushed, and then here fine grinding in ball mills and tube mills means whatever the hard particles which are there in the limestone which will get removed off here, and which is the only the required quantities which is stored in storage basin. And here also the fine grinding in the ball mills means which forms in powder form, right? So through that a proper channel which is stored, I mean which is sent to a proper chamber where it is added with the proper proportions. Okay, the required amount of proportions of both limestone as well as clay, which is mixed and sent to the four stage preheating. Actually, it is preheating at 800 degrees Celsius by exhaust gases. So this is consisting of four different stages. I will show you in the video how exactly it will be there. Okay, so in preheating at 800 degrees Celsius by exhaust gases, and then this entire raw material of this limestone and clay, which is storage stored in a particular tank for raw mix, and now which is fed to the rotary kiln that consisting of certain amount of heat, that is fuel fed from lower end, that is by using coal, oil, or by using natural gases. And then after that it forms with a clinker form. Okay, it forms clinker, and then which is sent to the ball mills, and here they have added 2 to 3% of gypsum here, and then in that ball mill which is consisting of steel iron balls, so that steel iron balls which will mix this clinker and gypsum uniformly, and it forms cement silos. Okay, then that entire powder form which is sent to the cement silos. Silos are nothing but it's like a chamber, big chamber. So there the powder form of this cement which is going to store. So now clinker and gypsum, it directly indicates what? Cement powder. Okay, so then it's stored to the cement silos and then to the packing unit. Clear? Understood? If you are having any doubts, please you can clarify the things without any hesitations. Okay, now we'll watch a video about the dry process so that whatever we have discussed the things, it will get cleared off. So now the video slide is visible.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. So this is the manufacturing process of cement in dry process. So here you can see the crusher plant will be there. Initially the limestone which will comes in crusher, and it forms crushed limestone in this part, and then okay, so here whatever the unwanted particles are there in this crusher plant, which is going to remove off from this crusher plant, and then which is stored to the crushed limestone heap, means they are going to store that in the required location. So this is the conveyor belt which is having a rotating axis, means it is going to rotate at a certain directions, and here you can see it's consisting of limestone, clay, bauxite, as well as the iron ore. These are the raw materials which are required for this manufacturing process, right? Bauxite and then iron ore. So all these particles which are sent to the raw mill. So here you can check, you can ask the question, sir, you have explained only about the crushed limestone as well as clay. So here the major part of the raw materials which are required are crushed stone, I mean crushed limestone as well as the clay. So basically these bauxites and iron ores, if that content which is less in this limestone and clay, then we can add this bauxite and iron ore. Okay, so for that reason they are going to place these additional chambers of bauxite and iron ore. So togetherly all these raw materials which are sent to the raw mill. So in this part, okay, so they are going to store these raw mills. So there all these particles are sent, and here they are going to provide the compressed air within this raw mill. So by using this compressed air, all these particles which are stored in raw mill are mixed properly, okay, and then they are sent to the raw mill silo. So raw mill silo is like a chamber, like, so it is like a storage basin. They are going to store that one in this chamber. And then here it comes with four stage preheater. Okay, so in this four stage preheater, all the raw materials are started placing in each and every chambers, and then it's like a storage place. Here they are going to provide around 800 degrees celsius of heat here, and then which is sent to the rotary kiln. So here in this rotary kiln you can see which is going to rotate at a speed of one rotation, sorry, for 60 rotations for 1 hour, 60 to 150 rotations. Okay, but here the application of this rotary kiln is too less because already it is dry in its state, so that just with a standard amount of heat it will get passes and it started cooling at this chamber. Okay, so after the cooling process which is sent to the clinker silo, it's like the clinker is stored in a particular chamber. Okay, and then through this conveyor belt, I mean here in the ball mill you can see the clinker, gypsum, and then fly ash. Okay, so here at this case gypsum which is added to clinker, gypsum, and then the fly ash. So at this case clinker, and the main application of adding this gypsum is to reduce the, I mean to increase the setting time, right? So means once you start adding water to the cement it gets started hardened at the earlier time. So just to overcome that quick setting time we are going to add the gypsum. So if we require fly ash, that one also we can add here, and then which is sent to the roller press. So within this particular rollers this powder will get passes, and through the rotation of these rollers that powder will form uniformly. Okay, and then which is sent to the ball mill. So there again which is going to hit with a steel iron balls, so that in that cases all the particles of clinker, gypsum, and if we have added fly ash also, so which is going to mix thoroughly. Okay, so that is then which is stored in cement silos, and then cement silo is nothing but that entire product of cement which is stored in a particular chamber. That chamber only we can call it as silos. Okay, and then which is sent to the packing unit, and then will they in packing unit they will form a required weight of cement bags and then sent to the required location. So clear now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, video is clear, right? Okay,
Yes, sir.
okay. So this is, I think, enough for today's class. Just place your so Praneeth and then Shabaz. Praneeth, you have replied in chat box. That's fine. But as I said, while presenting to that screen, I won't come to know that who messaged what here. So, okay, just you can reply through your words by unmuting that. Okay, no problem if you have texted, but for me it is very difficult to come back and check the everyone's chats. That's fine. Okay. So if you are having any doubts, please you can ask the questions so that the things will get clear. Can somebody please At least you can do the interactions with me. However, I have not seen your faces till now because I have not taken a single class for you people through offline. At least you can do the interactions here. I know it is very difficult to take class at till 6. It's fine. From next week onwards, just we'll reschedule this class as at the morning sessions so that things will be easier to catch you people at the morning time. Yes, Rushabh, please.
Nothing.
Nothing. Okay. Just place your name and USN as a part of attendance. If you're having any doubts, you can ask. Else, you can disconnect the meeting.